Welcome to today's deep dive. So imagine finding out that one-third of your local government's brand new hires just completely faked their way into the job.
Yeah, it sounds crazy, but that's exactly the scenario we're facing today. We are looking at a stack of breaking news transcripts out of Thailand, where a massive civil service cheating scandal just dropped.
Right, and the numbers are just insane. Out of 15,000 recently placed civil servants, a staggering 5,000 have test scores that completely mismatch their actual physical answer sheets.
Oh yeah, it is an unprecedented scale of fraud. So our mission today is to unpack, how this was actually executed, the intense public backlash, and the multi-agency scramble to clean house.
So to start, the Ministry of Interior, or the MOI, they're the ones who dropped the initial bombshell about those 5,000 newly hired officials.
Exactly. And the initial government response was honestly quite baffling.
Yeah, I mean, it's like checking your bank receipt and seeing a completely different number than what you deposited, right?
Yeah.
Someone obviously cooked the books, but they initially said these suspects could keep working.
Working and collecting taxpayer salaries, yeah, for like 3 to 6 months while waiting for the Anti-Corruption Commission to investigate.
Which makes no sense. Why hand someone the keys to government infrastructure when they are literally the prime suspect in hacking their way through the front door?
Well, the original protocol dictated waiting for the National Anti-Corruption Commission, or the NACC, to complete a formal review before taking action. But as you can imagine, the public outrage over that delay was just immediate and severe.
I bet.
Yeah, the pressure was so intense it forced Interior Minister Anutin Charnvirakul to entirely reverse the policy. He declared that if the evidence is clear, authorities are going to bypass that NACC wait time.
So they are moving faster now.
Right. They are instantly revoking those placements, clawing back the salaries, and pressing criminal charges.
Okay, so that stops the immediate bleeding, but the actual mechanics of this fraud are what really trip me up.
How so?
Well, modern civil service tests are machine-graded almost instantly, right? If a machine is reading the bubbles, where is the window of time for a scammer to go in and alter 5,000 individual scores?
So the vulnerability wasn't actually in the grading machines themselves, it was in the physical chain of custody.
Wait, physical?
Yeah. The data had to be moved between the testing university and the Department of Local Administration, the DLA. And because these two institutions didn't have a shared secure digital network, they relied on physical data transfer.
You're kidding.
Nope. The official scores were moved using USB flash drives.
Wow. So they built this state-of-the-art grading system, but then essentially, wrote the passcode on a sticky note and handed it to a courier on a bicycle.
That is the perfect way to visualize it, yeah. That physical transfer created this massive gap in the chain of custody. So right now, investigators are actually cross-referencing the flash drives from both the DLA and the university against the physical answer sheets that the NACC seized.
Trying to find exactly where the data was intercepted.
Exactly, to pinpoint the moment it was changed. And the fallout is already hitting the upper ranks. 5 DLA officials, including a former director general, have been suspended as this flash drive loophole comes to light.
Jeez. But with a former director general already implicated, how do you even begin to investigate a network that has so deeply infiltrated the system without the investigators themselves being compromised?
You basically have to mandate parallel investigations. So a special prime minister's office committee has been formed, and they are on a strict 30-day deadline.
Only 30 days.
Yeah, and they're required to report their progress every 10 days.
I mean, 30 days feels incredibly tight for a multi-agency probe of this size.
What?
Isn't there a severe risk that rushing this just results in, a sloppy investigation that gets thrown out on court?
Oh, absolutely. That is the inherent tension here. But to mitigate that risk of a single botched probe, they aren't relying on just one committee. You actually have the MOI, the NAACC, the police, and the Department of Special Investigation all running concurrent, overlapping probes.
Okay, so a lot of eyes on this.
Right. And it is worth noting that government leaders maintain this was an individual exploitation of system loopholes rather than state-sponsored fraud. Regardless, new cabinet-level anti-corruption measures are currently being drafted to seal these gaps.
Well, I think the most alarming takeaway for you listening isn't just the sheer scale of the fraud. It's the realization that technology cannot fix corruption if the human chain of custody is fundamentally broken. You can have the fastest machine-graded tests in the world, But if the data travels on a vulnerable flash drive, the entire system is just totally compromised.
Which leaves us with a critical question for everyone to consider. We often try to secure our systems by creating physical backup records, like, in this case, sending physical flash drives between multiple agencies for verification.
Right.
But if creating backup records was originally meant to secure the process, how often do our attempts to add these so-called security layers actually just create new dark corners for corruption to hide?